What does a 25,000-year-old skull tell us about the first people of Japan and where they came from? You might be surprised.
Long before the emperors of Kyoto or the rice terraces of the Yayoi, long before pottery workshops or Shinto shrines, humans roamed the Japanese islands. They were foragers, fishers and seafarers. Their tools were carved from bone and stone. Their bones rested for tens of thousands of years beneath layers of limestone and coral, waiting to be rediscovered. Among them were the Minatogawa people, Ice Age Homo sapiens, whose skeletons were found in Okinawa. These individuals represent some of the oldest known human remains in the Japanese archipelago, and they are now believed to be directly ancestral, or at least closely related, to the Jomon people, who later flourished throughout prehistoric Japan. There are profound connections between these early inhabitants. The skeletal remains of the Minatogawa people compare with Jomon morphology. Recent DNA research reveals their genetic legacy and how ancient fishing technology and seafaring from Taiwan and Indonesia connect them to a wider network of early humans navigating the Western Pacific some 30,000 years ago. Their story is not one of isolation, but of resilience, movement and memory, a deep current that still flows in the genes and culture of modern Japan. In the late 1960s, a quarry in southern Okinawa yielded an extraordinary find: the fossilized bones of ancient humans sealed within a vertical fissure of limestone. The discovery site, located in the Minatogawa limestone quarry near Naha, was first brought to attention by an amateur archaeologist, Seiho Oyama, who noticed bones embedded in construction stone. Upon investigation by Professor Hisashi Suzuki of the University of Tokyo, 4 nearly complete human skeletons were recovered, alongside partial remains of others. The bones were found scattered over a narrow vertical chute, some disarticulated and broken. Radiocarbon dating of charcoal within the same stratigraphic layer placed their age at approximately 22,000 years ago, during the last glacial maximum, a time when global sea levels were dramatically lower, and much of Japan was connected to the Asian mainland, or separated only by short sea crossings. The discovery was one of the most important in Japanese paleoanthropology, representing the earliest anatomically modern human remains ever found in Japan. But even more intriguing was the context. The bones showed signs of trauma, such as skull fractures and crushed limbs, which led Suzuki to suggest these people may have been victims of conflict. Alongside their remains were the bones of boars and deer, suggesting this fissure may have been used as a dumping ground or refuse site, their bodies dumped like animal carcasses. Nevertheless, it suggests the possibility of conflict between this group and possibly another group arriving from the mainland during the lower sea levels. Yet despite the tragedy written in their bones, the Minatogawa people offer something powerful: a glimpse into the earliest human story of Japan. The Minatogawa individuals stood barely over 5 feet tall. The men averaged around 155 centimeters, 5'1", and the women approximately 140 centimeters, 4'7". Their teeth were heavily worn, suggesting a coarse and abrasive diet, likely involving hard seeds, roots, or even sand-covered shellfish. One of the mandibles showed signs of deliberate tooth removal, likely a cultural ritual, a practice later observed in Jomon-era populations as well, which is incredible because this would show over 20,000 years of cultural continuity. Their cranial capacity, although falling within the modern human range, was on the smaller end, closer to 1,200 to 1,300 cubic centimeters compared to the modern average. The skulls themselves were low and broad, with relatively pronounced brow ridges, flat nasal bones and wide faces. These traits were once interpreted as primitive, but today they are seen as part of the diverse mosaic of early Homo sapiens morphology in East Asia. The skeletons also showed medially rotated zygomatic arches, or cheekbones, a trait that remains relatively common in indigenous East Asian populations. Their limbs were short and robust, with strong muscle attachments, suggesting a life of physical exertion and adaptation to rugged terrain. Importantly, despite some archaic traits, the Minatogawa people were unequivocally modern humans, not Homo erectus, Denisovans or Neanderthals, but part of the species that would eventually shape the world. And crucially, their bones showed morphological links to the Jomon, Japan's later prehistoric culture. The Jomon people lived in the Japanese islands from around 16,000 to 1,000 years ago, their culture defined by intricate pottery, semi-sedentary lifestyles, and deep knowledge of the forests, rivers, and sea. They were among the earliest pottery producers in the world. Some of their ceramics date back over 14,000 years, predating agriculture in the region. Jomon people were physically robust, with broad faces, large teeth, and muscular builds. Cranial studies show variation across the islands, but many Jomon skulls exhibit traits seen in Minatogawa: wide cheekbones, strong jaws, and similar nasal structures. Archaeologists and physical anthropologists long debated whether the Jomon were descended from earlier mainland migrants, but new genetic research shows that they likely emerged from earlier populations already present in Japan by at least 20,000 years ago. This strongly suggests continuity from the Minatogawa population, or at the very least, shared ancestry within the same founding population that migrated into Japan during the Upper Paleolithic. Although later waves of agriculturalists, the Yayoi, would arrive from the Korean peninsula around 1000 BCE, bringing rice cultivation and metallurgy, they did not erase the Jomon legacy. Instead, genetic studies show that modern Japanese populations retain 10 to 15% Jomon ancestry, with higher proportions in Ainu and Ryukyuan people, especially in Okinawa, home of the Minatogawa remains. In recent decades, archaeologists and oceanographers have reconstructed models of Paleolithic migration across these island chains. Experimental archaeology has shown that it was possible to cross from Taiwan to the southern Ryukyus using bamboo rafts, similar to those still used in parts of Southeast Asia. In fact, simulations demonstrated that even with primitive sea vessels, a voyage from Taiwan to Yonaguni or Ishigaki Island in the southern Ryukyus could be completed in 3 to 5 days, depending on currents and weather. This would make Okinawa a stepping stone, a natural settlement point for ancient humans moving eastward from the mainland. The presence of Paleolithic sites in Taiwan dating back to 30,000 years ago, including the Jokudian site and the Changbin culture, adds further weight to this theory. It is increasingly likely that southern Japan was settled by seafarers, not just land-bound migrants from Korea or Siberia. If the Minatogawa people arrived in Japan before 20,000 years ago, how did they get there? During the last glacial maximum, sea levels were up to 120 meters, 300 feet, lower than today. While Japan was not fully connected to the mainland, many of the islands in the Ryukyu chain were closer together, and the distance between Taiwan and Okinawa was shorter, with intervening islets and reefs possibly exposed or larger. These early voyagers would not only have brought stone tools and fire, they would have brought knowledge of fishing, sailing, and survival in coastal environments, a skill set that perfectly aligns with what we know of the Jomon and Minatogawa. Interestingly, Aboriginal Australians and Andaman Islanders use atlatls or spear throwers and the bow and arrow to fish in shallow waters, possibly a very ancient skill. In 2016, archaeologists working in Sakitari Cave in Okinawa unearthed what are now believed to be some of the oldest fishhooks in the world. These meticulously carved tools, made from seashells, were radiocarbon dated to approximately 23,000 years ago, almost exactly the age of the Minatogawa remains. They are almost identical to fishhooks found on Timor Island in Indonesia, dated to 42,000 years. What's remarkable is that these are designed to catch large deep-sea fish, not shallow-water coastal fish, proving that they were using boats. The fishhooks were shaped in a crescent-like curve, carefully notched for attaching line and sharpened with incredible precision. These were not simple implements. They represent a high level of planning, tool production, and maritime adaptation. They were used to catch reef fish in the surrounding coral seas, possibly even larger pelagic fish that required skill and strategy. It was previously thought that early humans would have had difficulty surviving for long periods of time on what was considered a resource-poor island. However, the fish hooks were unearthed among other artifacts, including beads and tools, as well as charred frogs, birds and eels. The discovery of freshwater crab residues, which would have been captured and consumed in autumn when they were at their most delicious, suggest how early humans even had a fancy for seasonal delicacies, according to the researchers. They conclude that all this material evidence suggests that humans could have lived on Okinawa for 35,000 years. The discovery of these fishhooks in the same region and time frame as the Minatogawa individuals strongly implies that these people were not just coastal foragers, they were technologically advanced marine specialists. Their culture revolved around the ocean. They were fishing long before the Neolithic Revolution and shared knowledge and traditions with other seafaring populations from Taiwan to the Philippines. These ancient fish hooks, paired with genetic and anatomical links, reinforce the idea that Minatogawa people were part of a wider maritime network, setting the stage for the later maritime practices of the Jōmon, who would go on to develop fishing communities that persisted for millennia. While no complete genome has yet been recovered from the Minatogawa fossils, comparative studies of cranial morphology and emerging genetic models provide a growing body of evidence for a genetic bridge between these Ice Age individuals and the later Jōmon people. Recent ancient DNA studies have sequenced nuclear genomes from Jōmon remains across Japan. These genomes show that the Jōmon were genetically divergent from mainland East Asians, having split off as early as 38,000 to 45,000 years ago. This matches the time frame during which the ancestors of the Minatogawa people would have entered Japan. In addition, mitochondrial haplogroups common in Jōmon samples are also found in modern Japanese and Ryukyuan populations, though at reduced frequencies. These lineages are thought to have originated in southern East Asia or Southeast Asia, suggesting the early populations of Japan, including Minatogawa, may have arrived via a southern coastal route rather than across the Korean peninsula. The overlap of these rare lineages, along with archaeological and anatomical similarities, supports the hypothesis that the Minatogawa people were either early ancestors of the Jōmon or part of a closely related population that was already diverging from other East Asians well before the Holocene. Taken together, the anatomical similarities, the geographical continuity, the shared mitochondrial DNA haplogroups, and the material culture all point toward a continuous human presence in Japan that stretches back at least 22,000 years, and likely much longer. The Minatogawa people may not be the only ancestors of the Jōmon, but they are almost certainly part of the ancestral mosaic. Their bones tell us that people were living, dying, and innovating in Okinawa before pottery, before agriculture, and long before recorded history. The fish hooks they left behind tell us they mastered the sea. Their skulls tell us they were built for resilience. Their possible genetic legacy in the Jōmon reminds us that ancient identities are never truly lost. They endure in subtle ways, passed on through generations. For centuries, the origin of the Japanese people has been cloaked in myth and fragmented by models of replacement and migration. But the story emerging from sites like Minatogawa, Sakitari, and genetic studies of the Jōmon reveals a different narrative, one of deep continuity and island-born innovation. The people of Minatogawa were not forgotten. Their fish hooks lie embedded in cave floors. Their descendants, the Jōmon, went on to create one of the world's oldest ceramic traditions and a unique cultural lineage that survives in today's Ainu and Ryukyuan peoples. As we trace the paths of these ancient mariners from Taiwan to Okinawa and from Okinawa to Honshu, we see a story not of isolation, but of connection, between islands, between people, and across the vast ocean of time. Thanks for watching and commenting. Please subscribe.